Troian Bellisario reveals a major truth bomb about the original and much darker ending of Pretty Little Liars, and she has a message to all the fans who weren't too pleased with the ending. Today's episode of Newsfeed is brought to you by Pandora Premium, where you can search and play your favorite songs. Pandora sounds like you. So just FYI, if you haven't tuned in yet, major spoilers ahead. As if the shocking final moments of Pretty Little Liars' final episode weren't already a lot to take in. As Alex nearly murdered Spencer, Toby identified the real Spencer, and Mona now holding Alex and Mary hostage as living dolls. Troian Bellisario has just revealed an even darker original ending, as if it wasn't already dark enough. She opened up to Entertainment Tonight saying, quote, "Originally, the ending was supposed to be a little different, where Alex had kind of gotten away with it a little bit more, and the only person that was onto her was Toby. But I think that ultimately would have left things too much in the air and we would have been worried for Spencer. So it was really fun because this way, Spencer got a happy ending and all the girls got a happy ending and Alex got to be with her family, which is great, but also in a little bit of a tricky situation." Another kicker is that the show's creator Marlene King originally questioned a different character to be AD, but changed her mind at the last minute, saying, quote, "Originally, my mind was going to Ren as AD, but we had to be realistic and there have been times when we really needed a character who wasn't a series regular and couldn't get them on the show. But everything seemed to play out quite perfectly in the end," and Troian agreed, saying that she hoped what many PLL fans already knew, in that Spencer and Toby were going to end up being the most badass domestic partners, and that she felt it would be a much more quiet elopement, similar to how Hannah and Caleb did, or even just end up non-traditionally dating for the rest of their lives. She said, quote, "They would have children together and they would live together, and they would also be like, we are independent people. If he needs to go backpack through the Himalayas for a year, he could totally do that. And if she needs to go live on her own in Paris for a year, she could totally do that." But I think that they would always end up coming back to each other. But ultimately, Troian knew that not everyone would be 100% pleased with the finale, and that it would be impossible to try and make the entire PLL fan base happy. She apologized for not giving fans exactly what they wanted, but did have this to say, quote, "The thing I want to say to those people is, I think the show was supposed to end in year 6 with Charlotte revealed as A. When we decided to continue working on it and decided to create a new character, it was a Genesis story. It's going to be a Genesis story because somebody had to pick up the lead from Charlotte. I don't know what to say other than that, I'm sorry. I'm literally trying to not go on social media because I know people are going to be brutal." Another thing she wanted to point out to fans is to take a step back and look at all the things they did get. She said, quote, "I know the show means a lot to people and they're going to be passionate either way. I would also like to look at all the other things that you got. You got your Ezra wedding, you got Caleb, you got Emerson, you got Spoby even. The writers broke their backs to make sure they gave so much to the fans. Even the last goodbye scene and all the little nods were in the finale because I know Marlene poured her blood, sweat, and tears into making sure she gave fans a really beautiful love letter." All in all, Troian wants fans to take away the beauty of the show as a whole instead of focusing on that tiny little detail, when fans could focus on 7 years of these characters you were able to grow with, root for, and eventually say goodbye to in a beautiful way. Well, I can't argue with that, but I want to turn this over to you guys. Were you pleased with how the show ended, or would you have preferred the original ending? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and after that, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on Clevver News. I'm your host, Renee Ariel, and I'll see you guys next time. And then click to the left to check out all the latest Bachelor drama on True Showmance, and click to the right to get all the details on a possible PLL spin-off already in the works. Thanks again to Pandora for sponsoring this episode. Now with Pandora Premium, where personalized radio meets on-demand listening, it's the only music app you'll ever need.